All I know is fight. Still I shine like the horizon, rising up despite it. I pulled over just to grab the underground and light it. Normal day, it's just not another nigga out there like me. So don't take me lightly. I wrote this celebration. All my niggas hype, Crystal vacation. Baby, I can leave with you. So bitch, it's up to you. Go get yourself together and go tell your friend she riding too. Hustle 24/7. The cash came fast. So when I get home, get my queen a champagne bag. Goddamn, it feel great to be a nigga slim. To see me shine when there was moments in my future dim. So bring it on, nigga. This that boss rap.
Devin the Ripper, how you feeling, big dog?
Feeling good, man. Feeling good. How you?
I can't complain. First, Floyd 118, high thoughts. Love welcome you here, man. Can't believe we actually doing it like this, but 2020 was a hell of a year. 2021, first guest right here.
Yes, sir.
Let me ask you a question, man.
Yes,
First,
sir.
Devin the Ripper. Break down that name for me.
Break down the name. You know, when I first started, I was like, man, ain't gonna be no stage name. It's gonna be Devin. It's gonna be me. It's gonna be real. And you know, I added the Ripper on there because I'm a hard worker. Anything you do, anything I do, you put in front of me, I just rip through it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I'm gonna go with Devin the Ripper. Just stuck with me. You know what I'm saying?
Gotta be hard with the Devin because the legend Devin the Dude, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Did you listen to Devin the Dude? I know you from DMV, right?
Yeah, Devin the Dude, yeah, Doobie Ashtray. Yeah, my sister put me on to him.
Yeah. I see you say something about your sister.
Mm-hmm.
Is that who was in the Legacy video? I was looking at your Legacy video. You had some of your family members in there.
Oh yeah, the Legacy video had two of my sisters in there. Shout out Renee and Lauren. And that was me with my nieces and nephews, you know, they kids just playing around. Old house I grew up in.
Some heavy shit in that song.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go all the way back. You say you from the DMV.
Yeah.
I heard some stuff in there about Southeast. Heard some stuff in there about Clinton.
Right.
Waldorf. I heard a few different things.
Yeah.
Give me a breakdown. How's it go?
So, I was raised in Clinton.
Yeah.
That was my father's house. All my siblings, you know how crowded that house was. You know what I'm saying? Then I moved to Waldorf. My mom. When I was about 12. Then that's why I finished high school. Went to Bowie for about 5 years. Went to California for 3 years. Then came back. Now I'm back in Southeast.
Yeah.
You know, Southeast, that's where my roots are. That's where my family from.
Yeah.
That's where my father, where he first got his hustle on, started doing music and everything, you know. So it feel like home.
What's the biggest difference from, and we gonna touch on it.
Yeah.
But what's the biggest difference from when you first left the area to when you came back?
Biggest difference?
Yeah. It could be personal shit. It could be how it looked, anything. The food, anything.
I mean, when I first came back, it felt good to be around black people because in LA, man, I was in Hollywood, I'm gonna say that.
Okay.
You know, I wasn't in, you know, the Crenshaw district or like where all the black people were at. But like, you know, I was around a lot of Hispanics and white people, and I ain't used to that coming from the DMV. So when I came back home, it felt good to be around black people, that humidity, that weather.
Yeah.
You know, the brownstones, the brick houses and everything. You don't see that in LA. It just felt good. Be around niggas.
I saw you went to an HBCU.
Yeah, Bowie.
That's okay. Say less. That's
Bowie
heavy
State.
right now. Everybody talking about HBCUs and Bowie, and that's tight. Why was it important for you to go to a HBCU?
It was important because to identify with black people, to be surrounded by black people. So you at an HBCU campus.
Yeah.
Your peers are black. Your teachers are black. Faculty, everybody. So you got all black people, your people pouring into you for the betterment of your growth as a person, educationally as well as, you know, personally. And it just means a lot because that's what it was for. You know, black people, we had our own institutions.
Yeah.
We trained our elite people,
Yeah.
and we went back and we taught our communities. That's why the HBCUs came about.
So what was the point of you going to LA? Tell me about that. What made you go? What was the deciding factor? Talk about that.
Deciding factor, I'm an actor.
Okay.
I'm a thespian first, theatrically trained. And it was something I was always good at and I enjoyed doing. So I was like, I'm gonna go straight to California 2 years after I graduated Bowie.
Yeah.
I did just that, man, to follow the dream and make it happen.
How was that experience? You come out, you from the DMV, you know, damn. Now you're on the West Coast. It's a totally different vibe. The women are different. The food is different. Everything, just everything is different. The music is different. Break that down to me. If I'm from Southeast, I've never been there. I want you to kind of put me in a place of coming from this area and hopping off that plane. What did you see? What you smell? Like, what did you feel for them years that you was out there?
Man, it was a surreal moment. That was my first time being in LA.
Yeah.
So I'm in LA, you see the palm trees, you see everything, man. First thing I did, I was like, let's go to Hollywood. If you've been to Hollywood Boulevard, it's some shit. You know, it's like prostitutes everywhere. It's like dirty. Drug addicts right there on the corner. You know what I'm saying? And it ain't no hood. It's just a shiesty motherfucking part of town. So I went there, man, you know, got that, and I moved to the Valley, which is past the mountains, past LA. And it was just a culture shock. Like, everything is Hispanic, predominantly Mexican, you know, the border right there. So it was a culture shock for me. I worked in a school in Linwood, out in South Central, and, you know, just getting used to they culture they got. Because a lot of people from LA, they say that LA culture is gang culture. You know, so a lot of the kids I dealt with, black kids, they was in that gang culture. It was either, you know, the Mexican game, MS-13, Bloods, Crips. You know, they was deeply rooted in that, man. So, and, you know, woman love out of town niggas, man. So, you know, that was fun, man.
Yeah.
That was fun. They hear that little accent, you know, you say Slim and Mo a couple times. They're like, ooh, where you from? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, all right. It was love. They love East Coast niggas.
Tell me some of the best experiences that you had out there. How long was you out there? How many years?
I was out there for 2.5 years.
Give me some of the best experiences and then give me some of the worst.
Best experiences, auditioning. I auditioned for Insecure, this show called Love Is on Oprah Network. That was good, and just being in the room and being amongst the elitists, meeting these casting directors and networking. Worst experiences, man, was definitely living in the Valley. You get up to past 110 degrees up there. We was living in a shitty apartment, roach infested, had sewage back up. I woke up, had a floor full of shit every damn way, you know, and I had to go get ready for an audition and brush my teeth through all that, you know, just stuff like that. First got out there, ain't had nowhere to stay. It took me a month to find my first spot. So,
yeah. What's some of the biggest differences? First, let me ask you, at what point you go out there for acting, at what point did you have the epiphany that you wanted to dedicate your time and focus to music?
When I was out there, acting is fun, but I just needed an outlet to express myself. I can't do that with acting.
Okay.
And, you know, I was just experimenting. First, I was just going to use music as my way to get into Hollywood. So I just went to the studio. I recorded some shit. It was trash, you know, but I was like, I got some potential, so I'm gonna keep working on it. And a lot of this was influenced by Nipsey. You know, I saw what Nipsey was doing. I went to his album release party.
Okay.
His in-store signing the Saturday after he dropped Victory Lap at the store. So we outside the line, waiting to get in there. We didn't get to see him. We saw him walk out. And when he walked out, he had like this glow about him. Like his mom always talked about. He had like this golden aura. And you know, you see the people in his community accept him. You know, all the shit that he said in his music and what he did, and he backed it up. And I'm like, that's something that I can do back home. You know, and I just had a story to tell. Something to put in my music. I wanted to do it my way.
So is that what led to you deciding to come back home, watching what Nipsey was able to do for his community?
Yeah, part of it. Because when I decided to do music, I was like, I want my music to reflect my culture from back home.
Right.
And I'm in LA, I'm like, it's nothing that they established in LA that can't be established in the DMV. You know, they started back in, you know, when they started doing music and everything like that, but, you know, we capable of doing the same thing.
Yeah. How did it affect you when Nipsey died? Being out there, just the whole thing.
It was fucked up because that was back in March.
Yeah.
And back in that time, like the weather hadn't broke yet. It was still like fall weather in LA around the winter time. But that day, it was a Sunday. It was 80 degrees out.
Yeah.
It's no smog. It's clear skies. It's a beautiful day. Birds is chirping. It was just good energy. And then you hear the story, the news breaking. You know, he got shot, and you know how many times and everything like that. And it just sucked the life out of LA.
Yeah.
Cause it was a beautiful day. It was a dark cloud just came over LA, and everything just felt hopeless. Cause you saw what this man doing. You can't even drive on any corner without hearing victory lap.
Yeah.
You know, just blasting. You go anywhere, niggas is blasting something. Rap niggas. Last time I checked, and then when he died, it was just like, it was so disappointing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's tough. I think I cried.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question.
I went there the day after too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was talk about it?
The day after I went there, I went to the site where he was killed. The day after, it was tense, man. It was tense because you know he was murdered.
Yeah.
And they hadn't found, you know, the dude that did it. He ain't came forth yet or whatever. So it was a lot of tension. There was a lot of movement. I would say that.
Yeah.
You know, so
yeah.
I'm just leave it at that, man. Heavy.
Yeah. You got a top 5. You was a rapper. You were an actor and a rapper. Give me your top 5 actors, top 5 rappers.
Top 5 actors.
Rest in peace to Nip always.
Yeah, rest in peace, Nipsey. Top 5 actors. I gotta go Denzel. I gotta go. Will. I like Will Smith.
Probably like you too.
Nigga, no, that shit don't fly over here. Nah. But I like to work with Will.
Okay.
You know, yeah, acting wise. But Jamie Foxx and you know, you're a funny nigga, man. Will Smith, Jamie Foxx, Denzel. I gotta put Chadwick in there. Chadwick, you know, he definitely did his thing. And I like
all time? Yes.
Cause he come from theater.
Yeah.
He
come
can
from
act.
Howard too.
Yeah, I don't care how many movies he did. He can act.
DC.
And I like Giancarlo Esposito.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He's underrated. He in Star Wars right now, but he was just playing a crooked reverend on Godfather of Harlem. You know, so he's my man. Top 5 rappers, you said?
All time.
Shit, all time. You know, I gotta go Nas. You know, I gotta throw Pac in there. Jay. I got Nipsey up in there.
Okay.
Because the effect he had on
I got you.
You know, and number 5, let me see, man. Honestly, I gotta put Prodigy up there. Rest in peace, Prodigy. Yeah.
All right. Let me ask you a question. Real quick. Since you just touched on Prodigy, different generation of artists. Different generation of artists. Prodigy, different generation. In your generation, though, it seems that the rappers seem more obsessed with the other side of the drug world, right? And we're going to touch on the drug world in the 80s and the 90s in D.C. But now it's not so much about being the kingpin no more. It's about how many drugs I can take, how depressed I am. And there's nothing wrong with that because we all deal with these things.
It's not Nino Brown. It's more so Pookie.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, not Nino.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And it seems like the industries are almost pushing the younger artists to adapt this lifestyle because they're getting rich all the way around. Tell me a little bit about it as this being your class of rappers that you will be coming in with.
Right.
And what you plan to do, if anything, to either join it, switch up the game, break that down for me.
I mean, I don't really smoke or drink like that outside of like occasion, man. But like, I'm more so in it for the long run. Business. Establishing myself. I'm trying to make millions, put my people on, put the city on, my family and everything. And I would think it would be difficult to do that if you was always out here popping the shit that they say that they do, man. But it's definitely, they exploiting these niggas. They exploiting a lot of these rappers. They know that they make good music when they on something, so they gonna keep them on something, and they gonna keep on promoting that and pushing that song. So, you know, it's just fucked up what the industry is doing, but they've been pimping us for years.
Is there any pressure to do the music that they doing is winning and working?
Nah, hell nah.
No pressure?
Nah, because that ain't me. I ain't gonna do something I ain't gonna rap about shit that I don't do.
Speaking of business, congratulations. You just officially became your own record label owner.
Yes,
Tell me a little bit about that.
Lee Mack Entertainment. I just launched it, independent record label. And it's named after my grandmother, rest in peace. Miss Mack, Annie Mack, and also my great-grandmother, Maddie Lee Mack Thomas. And, you know, if you all know, back in the day, she managed the, you know, my people and all of them, my family, Red Essence and all of that. She was well known for her business acumen. Smart woman, strong woman, you know, the love of my life. And I'm like, you know, I'm gonna honor her.
Yeah.
Lee Mack, you know, all day.
It's funny you say that. I just saw a post from a member of that band, Red Essence. He was showing that in 1992, Red Essence had the chart at number 5 for a single called
Jet
Work
Magazine.
the Walls.
Yeah.
And Jet Magazine had published the list. And for the DC DMV area, the narrative is that we've never got national recognition, which is just not true. Let me ask you a question. How important is it for you with your bloodline so heavily associated with the DC DMV music scene? How important is it for you to make the choice that you seem to make, which is just to be your own man? You haven't done the go-go band thing. You kind of doing you put the label in honor of your lineage and legacy. But like in the song Legacy and the lyrics, you're talking about being haunted from your past, and we're going to get into that, but how you are using your past to kind of motivate and position you to have a brighter future. Can you kind of break that down for me a little bit?
I mean, I tried the whole go-go thing.
Me too, bro.
Yeah, I had, you know, I mean, I had to, you know, because growing up, you know, they called me Foots, you know, my friends and shit like that when I was in school, and, you know, they knew who my father was, you know, shout out to Foots, you know, my dad, Rassins, man, and I had my uncle teach me, my Uncle Steve. I think he taught my father at one point. He came by the house, I was like 14, and, you know, I just wasn't passionate in it, you know, it was just like, it wasn't me. I was more so into rap, but I understood, I embraced go-go so much, man, but, you know, when I came back home, I was like, my goal is to eventually fuse go-go into rap music and, you know, kind of push that forward. Because I felt like that hasn't been done enough. There ain't been no crossovers and no shit like that.
Yeah.
So, you know, I definitely want to do that. And, you know, if I'm in my rap songs, I always shout out my father Foots, you know. And, you know, my brother, Lil Quentin, you know, Lil Foots and everything. It's like, I'm always keep them alive and keep them with me.
Tell me a little bit about who your father was and then his untimely demise.
Okay, so my father was Foots Quentin Maurice Davidson Sr. You know, he one of the founder members of Red Essence. You know, he started it. It was conceived when he was in Southeast on Xenia Street, and he in the living room as a little kid playing the drums and, you know, taking lessons and everything like that. Then he got his neighborhood friends, White Boy, Funky Ned, and John Jones, and, you know, they just started a band when they was in middle school and took it to the next level, man. He was a businessman. He had his own label, Colossal Records, signed one of the first rap artists in DC Scorpio. You know, he had his own arcade right there on Florida Avenue, right across from the Metro PCS, playing go-go music there. You know, he put people on like Big G. He tell the story about how Big G got his first start. He gave him money to buy equipment to start Backyard Band. And before Big G was doing the lead mic, my father told him to get on stage and be lead mic for Red Essence, you know. So he just put people on, innovator, open doors for people. You know, I ain't even talk about how good of a drummer he was. You know, you can ask around. Yeah. But, you know, just a loving person.
So, how does your past affect what you're shaping for your future? How have you been able to take the story, your father's legacy, and build on that, and build on the tragedy, and make it a triumph?
Cause it weighs so heavily on me.
Yeah.
Not just my father, but also my brother. Cause them two, they just meant a lot to me. It's just like it can be a burden. Yeah. At the same, cause here I am. One of my fathers, like, they celebrate his birthday every year on the radio. They don't do that for everybody. Yeah. Everybody know who he is. Everybody loved and respected him as a person, but also for what he did as a musician. And he, one of the most infamous murders in, the DMV ever, and it's unsolved. They never found who did it. So it's just like carrying that burden when people know who I am and they, oh, you Foot son, it's kind of like that whole story. And with my brother being killed, a lot of people knew that story. And the one thing that stood out to me is I look at the newspaper article and my brother's name is Quentin, but on the headline it just says son of go-go musician slain. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, I never called him son of no go-go musician. He was Quentin. He was his own man. Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna tell that story because my brother was like the realest nigga I ever met. You know what I'm saying? I always wanted to follow him. So, I just used that to fuel me and fire me and put fire into what I do and tell my story, man, and bring them up with me. So it give me that passion. When I rap with that passion, it give me that. Yeah. Like I had to wear that weight. Like the expectations, like the weight of like who my father was and like the last living Davidson in my family and everything, and knowing, cause that shit fuck you up. You lost your brother got killed the same way as your father. Like that shit fuck you up. You gotta carry that. When people know the story about how the two most important people in your life got killed and murdered. Yeah. Like you gotta wear that. You know what I'm saying? People know the story when they find out who I am. So it's like, I just keep it 10 toes down, keep my chest up. You feel me?
No way.
Yeah.
What you feel like your responsibility is as an artist, not just from DC, but as a black man, as a conscious black man, do you feel any extra responsibilities? I know you feel pressure based on the lineage. Yeah. But outside of that, you still your own man. Mm-hmm. Is there any added pressure just as a black man and an artist in America in 2021?
Oh yeah, most definitely, man. As a black man, you was already a target by America, by the country. But even now with the pandemic, it's like, cause the streets are so hungry, you see a lot of these tragedies happening with, these artists getting in situations and even getting murdered and shot or, robbed and stuff like that. So, it's a lot of pressure in that aspect, as if being a black man wasn't enough. You gotta add artists on top of it. But responsibility as a black man and as an artist is to lead the people. Yeah. You the voice of the people. People don't listen to the people you walk by every day on MLK or in Anacostia every day. They don't hear those voices, but you do. So you responsible, kind of like Tupac was, you responsible for telling these people's stories. You responsible for being their voices.
This new song you got, tell me a little bit about it. I want to hear you talk about your style and how it's grown to lead up to this new single. Yeah. Tell me about your choice to collaborate with the artists on here and other DMV artists on this new project, and tell me about when we can expect to close out, when we can expect this new project that you're dropping.
Right. So I just got this single I'm dropping soon, just premiered it on the Floyd 18. It's called Out the Grind featuring Trey's Up. Yeah. And my style changed. First debut album, One Day It'll Make Sense. I was just trying to find myself, find my voice, my flow, my rhythm, my identity as an artist. And this album, I'm more so in my bag. Like the first one was from the heart, this one from the pockets. You know what I'm saying? I'm wrist deep in my pockets and I'm knee deep in my bag. That's what I say. And the album is called I Am Who I Say I Am. And for this single, I'm a rapper, I'm a conscious rapper, but I like to have fun. I want something with a little bounce to it, something that niggas can listen to. And niggas can understand what I'm saying. So I was like, man, I hollered at Floyd and Judah. Judah mixed and mastered the whole project. And I'm like, yo, man, I'm looking for like a trapper singer, somebody who can be on this hook. And you sent me Trey. And man, I didn't even meet him at first. I just sent him the joint and he was down, he was fucking with it. And he sent me the joint back. And as soon as I heard it, I knew this shit was a hit. So.
And it's called what again?
It's called Out the Grind.
Out the Grind.
Hell yeah.
You got a lyric on one of your older songs that says, I've been a victim. Mm-hmm. On this new project, do you feel like you're still a victim?
Victim? Nah. Okay. Nah, I'm getting past that.
Yeah.
I've been a victim all my life, but shit, I'm not no more. I'm not claiming that no more. I'm triumphant. Yeah.
Devin, man, I appreciate you, man. We got 25 minutes real quick. That shit went by like it ain't nothing.
Yeah, I appreciate you for having me.
Nah, I appreciate you. When does the new single come out? You featuring Trey's Up, Out the Grind.
It's coming out next Friday, January 15th. So be on the lookout for that, man.
It's Martin Luther King Day.
Hell yeah, man. It's only right. Hey, he got it out the grind, so And I Am Who I Say I Am. That's dropping later on this month. My EP, later on January. So be on the lookout for that, man. Appreciate you.
I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
Man, this joint was supposed to play, but it's not playing. Fucking service that.
Alright, there you go.
I'm gonna just edit that part out.
I've been through shit, the color purple. All I know is fighting. Still I shine like the horizon, rising up despite it. I pulled over just to grab the underground and light it. Normal day, it's just not another nigga out there like it. So don't take me lightly. I want the celebration. All my niggas hype. Crystal vacation. Baby, I can live with you. So bitches up to you. Go get yourself together and go tell your friend she riding too.